What's going on, guys and girls? It's Lonely Pine Bee Farm here. Today is January 19th, 2021. We're down here in the bee yard. It's a perfect day. It's 61 degrees. The sun's out. Man, it's good to come down here and actually see the bees out and flying. I've got two hives that I'm seeing more and more come out. I was a little worried about them when I first got out here because I didn't see a whole lot of bees coming out. So I was a little bit worried, but now that I'm down here a little bit longer, I'm seeing more and more. So, I mean, that's a plus. When you see bees coming out of your hive, actually, this is crazy. I am watching, and I'm going to show you this. I'm watching bees bring in pollen. I think that's what they're doing. They're bringing, yes, they are. They have actually got pollen on their back legs, and today is January 19th. So, I don't, God didn't make a mistake when he made us or when he made the animals. And you hear a lot of people talk about honeybees being able to predict weather. And nature is one of the greatest things that we've ever, as humans, had the privilege of being around. And when I mean nature, I mean animals, wildlife, plants. It's just the way they do is just awesome. But anyway, this video is just going to be talking about a few things, what you need to be doing getting ready for spring. And from what I see, I might need to step up my game a little bit because we might actually have an early spring. I know last year I came down and it was like late February before I started seeing pollen being brought in by the bees, and I'm actually seeing them bringing in pollen today, and today is the 19th of January. This is the first day that I've been in the yard the past 2 weeks and actually seen bees flying. They have been cooped up. It's either been raining or just been cold, and they have not really been out. Every now and then you'll see a bee stick his head out, look out, and then go right back in. But this video today is basically just talking about some of the things that you need to do to prepare for spring. And like I said, I am going to get some video of the bees bringing in this pollen because it's really, really surprising to me. First thing you need to do is to make sure, now everything that I tell you is from my experiences. This is not nothing that I've learned from others, even though I've heard others talk about this, but I tell you from my experience because my second year beekeeping, I didn't have equipment saved up because I wasn't expecting what I did, and man, I lost a couple of swarms because I wasn't prepared. Equipment. Right now it's winter time. If you've got the time, if you build your own equipment, that's great. If you don't, if you buy it all, that's fine too. I do buy my boxes from Man Lake because I've actually found it to be a little bit cheaper with the lumber prices gone up like they had this past year. The lumber at the stores it's unreal. I'm hoping to buy me a sawmill this year where I can start making my own lumber. I've actually got some people I work for actually have wood that they actually it's in a landfill basically, and I can get all the wood I want for free. So I want to try to start building my own as far as making my own lumber. And but yeah, making sure you got equipment. That is a big necessity coming into spring, because any of your hives that made it through the spring, no problems, man, come spring they're going to be ready to swarm. They're going to be ready to build up, and you do not want to get caught off guard. So biggest thing right now is make sure you got enough equipment. I've got 7 hives here now. I've actually got 8 boxes ready to go. And for me, that's plenty for what I have. I've actually got probably 5 or 10 5 frames. I got plenty of bottom boards. I got a couple of top inner covers, top lids. And actually I need to go in there and finish painting them. I primed them a couple of weeks back and letting them dry out. And that's one thing I've learned is if you're going to paint your boxes, make sure you throw a good coat of primer under it. It don't take long. I use the Kilz K-I-L-Z primer. It coats real good, and it does great when you paint when you paint your boxes, it does awesome. But it helps your boxes last, helps your equipment last longer when you throw a good base coat of primer on it. 2, make sure you got your frames, which is part of equipment. You want to make sure you got, plenty of frames to add when you need them. So equipment is the biggest thing right now. But anyway, I'm just, the more I sit here and watch these bees, it's amazing. Like I said, that we're in the 2nd and 3rd week of January and they're bringing in the pollen like they're bringing in. So, Mother Nature's telling us something. We gotta love it. But anyway, now we're gonna talk about, and I'm gonna make a video. I've got videos that I made on splitting your hives, and I've learned a lot these last couple of years. And this year, I'm gonna do things a little bit different. Splitting pretty much is gonna be the same. I pull the queen out. I do not leave the queen with the existing hive. A lot of people say that you can do them either way. Pull the queen, leave the queen. Me personally, I don't recommend leaving the queen, just for the simple fact that when bees decide they're ready to swarm, now it's the worker bees that decide. It's not the queen, not the drones, it's the workers. When they decide they're ready to swarm, they will start making swarm cells, getting ready to leave out. And in my opinion, when they get to that point, they're pretty much got their mind made up. They're ready to go. So, leaving the queen in there, not removing her, the pheromone that the queen puts off, the bees pretty much know she's always there. I ought to cut my phone off. People always call me when I'm trying to make a video. But anyway, they know she's still there. So in my opinion, even if you remove a bunch of bees and some frames out, put new frames in, yeah, they might stay in there. But in my opinion, removing the queen guarantees them bees ain't going to swarm. Now, you also got to keep this in mind. If there's multiple queen cells, because I've had this happen one time, if there's multiple queen cells in there, I do not recommend leaving no more than 2. 3 at the most, but I usually just leave 2. For the simple reason that if for some reason all them queens come out, and the way it's supposed to work is they usually fight to the death, or either the first queen will come out and kill the rest of them. If for some reason 2 queens get left in there, they couldn't kill each other, she couldn't, whatever the reason is, now there's going to be 2 queens, and they will both get mated, but eventually that hive will swarm again. That hive will not continue to stay functional with 2 queens. So I always just leave 2. I try to make, if I say I got 8 queen cells, I'll do 4 splits. Actually, I will do I will pull the queen out, which would be 1 split, and then I will try to, especially whenever I got queen cells on different frames, I will pull the frames out, put them in new boxes. So let's say you got 8 queen cells. You're going to leave 2 with the existing hive. Let's say you got 2 on 3 separate frames. So what I'll end up doing is making 4 splits off that hive. Try to anyway. I've got some 3 frame, and I got this idea from Barnyard Bees. I built me some 3 frame boxes, and what I'll do is I'll put a frame with 2 queen cells in one of them, and then give them some honey pollen, and then I'll give them an empty frame. That way, if for some reason, the queens in your original hive didn't make it for some reason, you can always, you got them backups. You could pull one out and put them back in there. But I always pull the old queen and put her in a completely new box. I usually try to give her anywhere from 2 to 3 frames of, if I've got that many. I mean, it's like it's really, you just got to kind of go through your hive and look and see what you're working with. Because if you don't have enough to do what I'm talking about, then you definitely don't need to do it. But if I've got at least 2 frames of capped and uncapped brood larvae, then I'll leave her with them 2. Give them a frame of honey, frame of pollen, and then add a couple of empty frames in there, put them together and leave them alone, and just let them go about their business. But I've heard a lot of people talk about, you know, scratching off some of the queen cells. I try not to do that because you never know. I actually had a hive one year that had about 12 queen cells, and I went through and I cut all of them off except for about 4 or 5. I left a couple of them in the hive. None of them queens made it. None of them. So I actually had to take my old queen and put her back in there. So I try to save every queen cell that I can. But yeah, this is how I do my splitting. Always pull the queen out, put her in a new box. And if for some reason one of your hives don't make it with the queen, then you can always take her and put her back in there. But leaving the queen in the hive is pretty much telling them bees that they have not swarmed, in my opinion. So, but anyway, yeah, make sure you got plenty of equipment. You've got somewhere to put your bees. I've actually got to build me a couple more stands, and I've got plenty of time to do it, because it don't take, I mean, it cost me, the last stand I built was about $15-20, and I don't know what it is now with the lumber prices being up. But anyway, we're going to flip around, and I'm going to show you the bees bringing in some pollen, if I can actually catch them, because they're moving pretty quick today. And then I'll do a little bit of a slow motion video for you. So thanks for watching, guys. If you're still watching this far, if you like my channel, like what I got, give me a big thumbs up. If you don't, give me a big thumbs down. I really would enjoy if you subscribe to my channel. It would help me out, get my subscribers up. But if you decide not to, it's no big deal. I mean, like I said, this whole channel has always been about the things that I've learned, and possibly teaching you what I've learned to where that might actually suit you better than what some other people do. So, but anyway, there's a lot of guys out there doing this. Barnyard Bees does it. Mr. Ed, I mean, he does it. 628 Dirt Rooster, he does it. I mean, them are great guys. They've got a lot of knowledge about beekeeping. So you can check them out too, man. I mean, they're great. But anyway, we're going to show you a little bit of video of the bees coming in and out. We're going to do a little slow motion video, and hopefully you can actually catch them with the pollen in their pollen sac. So glad you watched my video, man. Y'all just be safe out there in 2021. This is Lonely Pine Bee Farm. God bless. We're out.